Hello, students, and good day. Today, it ends up with our 1 week virtual teaching presentation. And I'm so happy that you were able to complete the task or activities presented in day 1, 2, and 3. And no one, we need to continue the quarter 1, week 1, day 4 lesson. This is Leo T. Solihon, and I will be your teacher for today. At this moment, we need to embark and shed the lights on a myth as we go deeper to the meaning, characteristics, uses, and its elements as a whole. We will be captivating and hooked to the treasure trove of strange, mythical creatures that have stood the test of time. And welcome to the spellbinding power of myth. To start with, we need to know first the learning objective, which is to read intensively to find answers to specific questions. A myth is a classic or a legendary story that is usually focuses on a particular hero or event and explains mysteries of nature, existence, or the universe with no true basis in fact. But first, we need to ponder the elements specific to myths. First, we need to define the word myth. It is a story of unknown authorship that people told long ago to explain the natural world and how it came to be. And now on, we discovered that myth splits up into two. We do have classic myths and modern myths. When we mention about classic myth, it is vintage yet a paragon, an outstanding example, right? How about the modern myth? It is also considered as in the present time. It is voguish. You know voguish, spelled as V-O-G-U-I-S-H. Voguish. V-O-G-U-I-S-H. It means to say, it is popular or in fashion in a particular time. And that is a modern myth. Under classic myth are the following. We do have Pandora's box, right? Homer's Iliad. And in the Philippines, we do have Tikbalang, Duende, Capre, Anito, and we do have Manananggal also, right? In modern times, we do have Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. In the Philippines, we do have Tikboyong, Mulawin, right? And Lobo as well. Both classic and modern myths are well crafted in terms of designs and effects. And we do have 8 characteristics of myths. Anyway, myths are clearly man's desire to explain the universe. They usually have religious sense, often involving nature or the adventure of gods and goddesses. And we need to point the characteristics of the myths. The first one is myths attempt to explain a natural phenomenon. The second one, myths have many gods. And the gods and heroes are superhuman beings. Fourth, gods have human-like emotions. And myths contain magic. Not only with that, it always tackled good is rewarded and evil is punished. Lastly, myths contain violence as well, right? And we do have 6 uses of myths. First, to explain the natural occurrence. Second, to explain the creation of the world. The third one, to teach people moral lessons. Fourth, to explain some historic event. Fifth, to explain some ancient religious practice. And lastly, to reveal the common hopes and fears of mankind. Setting is the time and place or when and where of the story. The three types of setting, it include the elements of the time, the place, and the environment. Either it is physical or social. And take note of this. The setting helps to create the mood and set the tone for the literary piece. You can analyze the setting by examining the surrounding environment, background, historical place in time, and in geographical location. So in myth, the possible and always be the setting place are in the forest, mountain, lake, castle, cave, and island. And who are the typical and mostly the characters involved in the myths? They are the villains, the Black Hat, dragons, fairies, wizards or the witches, ogres or the monsters, and the dwarves as well. And they are very few animated, inanimate or personified gods or humans with super or godlike traits. So, these characters adds our imaginations and love them as well through portraying them during English month celebration. We portrayed character of Zeus of Greek mythology because we know that he is the king of the Greek gods who lived on the Mount Olympus, the god of the sky and the thunder. His symbols include the lightning bolt, the eagle, the bull, and the oak tree. And we also love a Medusa, right? Tikbalang, Capre, Duende. And for the girls, they love fairies. They love Maleficent, right? Wow, the beauty of Greek and Philippine mythology is so much fascinating. And the next important one is the plot, refers to the events that make up a story. The plot of a myth may take place between a supernatural world and our present-day world. And take note, in a point of view, we often use the third-person narrative. And what is the third-person narrative? Third-person example without using I or we. He did that. They did something else. In other words, the voice of telling appears to be akin to that of the author, him or herself. And lastly is the theme. When we mention about the theme, it is underlying message or the big idea. In other words, what critical belief about life is the author trying to convey in writing. This belief or idea transcends cultural barriers. It is usually universal in nature. Mostly in myth, the theme is natural phenomena, origins of life, social phenomena, human behavior, religious customs, and traditions. Myths also explain human strengths and weaknesses of man, and a lesson for life, right? Before we end with our lesson, let's do have a recap. Again, take into account the following. First, the characteristics of the myths. The second one, of course, the uses of the myths. The setting of the myths. The characters, the plot, the point of view, and the theme as well. These are very important in studying stories or we are tackling about myths, right? And that ends with our lesson today. Did you understand? Are the examples and explanations clear to you? I hope so. But if not, you may go back to the lesson presented in your module. If today's lesson is crystal clear to you, you deserved a DJ clap. 1, 2, 3, then ara awesome! Congratulations! You may answer the activities in your module. Again, this is Leo T. Solihon saying, do not forget to smile and pray to complete your day. Good luck and happy learning!